The farm is 121 hectares. Of that, we have a 80 hectare milking platform, and sort of in the centre of it is what we call a runoff area. The irrigation dam consists of a 300 metre long wall, 10.3 metres high at its highest, and it holds 266,000 cubic metres of water.
So the droughts get pretty bad here?
We can do, yes. Over the past, we've had to dry cows off in February, March, because it just gets too dry. You go on once a day at Christmas time and you just run out of grass.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's all different with more cropping, turnips, maize silage, palm kernel is a new thing on the market, and that all helps to extend your milking days now. More intensive, I guess you could say. Since Alex died in 1983, so I employed managers, lower order share milkers. They did all the day-to-day management of the farm and milking cows. And Paddy and Teri had been overseas and so on, and they came home and they decided to take up farming and then moved on to buying their own herd, 50-50 share milking. So
it is a wet farm, but I don't think it's probably the wettest in Northland. But we graze stock off, cows off in the winter, on-off graze. That and challenge Kaikuya, which is becoming a Northland #1 pasture nearly.
I suppose we started back in the late 70s because there was erosion on the steeper hills, and we actually worked with it's now Regional Council, but the Catchment Commission back then, and used a subsidy towards the plants, poplar poles, willow poles, coral trees, and we planted eroding slopes and all along the drains there. All over, erosion, riparian strips along, there was a stream out the back, some of the drains, wet areas. When I really started planting in earnest with the dam, anywhere 150 to 300 plants a year. That's including flaxes.
We work with our field rep, which is Balance Nick Chapman at the moment.
Always tested regularly every 2 years, just to keep an eye on what's going on. No sense in putting too much on. Well, because now you look after the nutrient cycle of it, and we don't want to wash nutrients into our waterways.
So we're trying to breed a lot of replacements so that we can cull cows on genetics, so that we're taking out the lower BW and PW cows. That's just to protect the soils. Yeah.
So do you enjoy it here?
Yeah, no, Waipu's a great place to live. It's a really good community. Sinead goes to mainly music, and it's a lovely place to live.
Previously, the last share milker didn't do cropping. He relied on his irrigation, but we've come here and we've done 7 to 8% a year, 4 or 5% in turnips, and then the other 2 or 3% just grass to spray in autumn and drill in grass. And then in autumn now we're just undersow it, so we limit the cultivation, which all helps with soil erosion and protecting the soils.
Part of irrigation management, because we get this hole in our early spring pasture because it's too cold for the kaikuyu to grow. Now in this autumn time we have a process of really mulching or mowing the kaikuyu down low, and then either broadcast annual ryegrasses in there to cover that hole in early spring.
Our 200 cows are producing 335 milk solids per cow, which is above Northland, over 800 milk solids a hectare. But I think for kaikuyu dominant pastures that's pretty reasonable production. Because we did win Pasture Management Award in Share Milk of the Year in 2006.
Well, I'm on the Department of Conservation Board, which I enjoy because that's conservation and environmental as well, because it all ties in. Through that, out here in Urititi, there's a Bream Bay Coastal Care group who are working with DOC to replant and try and get it looking nicer. So I've joined that group. Convener for the farm discussion group, that's where we get information from too.
we donate calves to the local St John's ambulance and also the Waipu Rugby Club, which Paddy has played a big part of his life, but now that he's dairy farming and getting older, he's been encouraged not to participate in that anymore.